Hey guys, Stefan Aarnio here, and I'm here to talk to you today about real estate investing on the commercial side. Now it's funny because I just told Jeff, my camera guy, I said, hey Jeff, we're gonna talk about real estate investing commercial. And he goes, well, that's a totally different ball game, isn't it? And I said, well, it sort of is and it sort of isn't. In some ways, commercial real estate investing is a better game than residential. I'm gonna explain why in a sec. And in some ways, it can be a lot harder than residential. So I'll just do maybe a comparison here. On this side, I'll do residential, in which I'm going to define residential as this is people living in the property. Over here is commercial, which is going to be like mostly businesses or business use. Okay, so let's just compare the two really quickly. Resident or real estate investing commercial side versus residential. And the first one is a lot of people want to go into residential when they start because the tenants are easy to find. So I'll write here, easy to find tenants. You know, there is 800,000 people in Winnipeg right now, 800,000 or so, and there is about 55,000 rental units. So you got 800,000 people trying to get 50,000 rental units. There's 180,000 homes. This is easy to fill 50,000 of these with 800,000 people. Now the commercial side is different. Commercial is not easy to fill. Now you need to be kind of like a salesperson and be able to sell your space because you're selling to businesses. You're selling to people who do not need this space. They don't need it. They don't need your space. They can go anywhere. They have money. These people over here, the tenants in your apartments or your homes, they need a place to live. So there's a difference. That's why this is easy to fill. You know, vacancy on residential, vacancy not an issue. You know, in most places, like in our market here, vacancy is like 2%. A lot of cities in Canada and the US have low vacancies, easy to rent. Over here, you know, I was looking at a commercial building I wrote an offer on, I had it tied up, had 75% vacancy in that building. And it was a building where it's not easy to get tenants. Now, over here, you might have to get creative with tenants. You might have to do leasehold improvements or customizations. So, you know, I was looking at a building and it was 3 floors like this, and I wanted to buy it. Here's 3 floors, floor number 1, floor number 2, floor number 3, and it was 13,000 square feet, 13,000 square feet, 13,000 square feet, garage door. First floor rented was $4,000 a month. Second floor, third floor, empty, not rented. Now you might say, well, why not? There's no elevator in this building to get goods or services up to floor 2 or floor 3. So, you know, you have to look at, okay, so this property, it's massively vacant, it's not worth much. Leasehold improvement, how much would it cost to put an elevator in this thing? If you want to put an elevator on, I got some quotes, 250 to 300 grand to graft an elevator on that thing. Now you look at that and you go, whoa, dude, that's totally different than, you know, a little rental property that mom and dad own. Now, this building was a 45,000 square foot floor plate. That roof on that building is $10 a square foot to be replaced. That's a $450,000 roof liability. So, you know, your little house over here on the residential side, you might have a house like this with a little 4-hip roof like this. And your little 4-hip roof might cost you $4,000, which if it leaks, that sucks. $4,000 for your roof, boo-hoo. You come over here to this side on commercial, a $450,000 roof could sink you. I mean, you don't have that pocket change hanging around. Even a patch on the roof of this building was a $53,000 patch, just a patch a leaky roof. So, you know, you look over here, this is a lower dollar amount. Now here's the good thing. Here's where commercial gets great. You know, with these tenants, if they're in there, they're going to be no hassle because the leases are in favor of the landlord usually. And if they don't pay, you can sue them, you can do all sorts. There's no rules with commercial leases. With residential leases, the tenants are protected usually by the government. So tenants over here have power, especially in Canada where I live. The tenants can not pay for a year in their rental suites and the landlord's in trouble. Commercial side, the leases, if these guys don't pay, they don't have any rights. So totally different thing. Now, here's where I think commercial is really great versus residential. Commercial properties over here, this is what I love. You are not borrowing the money. So let me clarify that. The building is borrowing the money. The cap rate, the capitalization rate, the income the building makes is borrowing the money because the bank knows you can never pay that loan back yourself. On this side, you are borrowing the money. And the bank wants a personal guarantee and all this stuff. So the bank's never going to check if you're making a good or bad buy over here. But over here, the bank will not let you buy if you're making a bad buy because the amount of documentation you have to have over here to prove that this is a good buy is serious. You probably need an environmental done, phase 1, phase 2, whatever you're doing. So there's more due diligence. You need a commercial appraisal, which is a serious document compared to a residential appraisal. Even just to read a commercial appraisal takes a long time. And then over here, another thing that's great about this, the bank is protecting you from your own ignorance. You got environmental, you got a commercial appraisal, you're buying it corporately. They expect you to buy it corporately. Over here, they expect you to buy it personally. Over here, there's no limit to the amount of property you can buy. Over here, they limit you based on credit. So there's a real difference. If you are a real estate investor and you're over here on the residential side with a single family home, duplex, triplex, fourplex, you're in that little small game. But if you can get into the bigger game over here, it's a little different. Now you need a big amount of money, usually about 20 to 35% down to get a commercial loan. The bank wants a lot more money down, but you can usually subsidize the vendors. The seller will give you a VTV, vendor take back, to make up the difference. Over here, you can maybe buy, if you're buying your own home, 5% down to, let's say, 20% down. If you're a subprime, stated income person, maybe 25% down. So the finance is different, the tenants are different, but at the end of the day, the general idea with this stuff is the same idea. Real estate's a simple game. Here's what happens. You buy a box, here's your box, and you got two options. You rent it out or you sell. And the beautiful thing is the commercial box is a very big box that businesses go inside. The residential box is a smaller box that people and families go inside. So I hope I cleared that up for some people. Commercial real estate is a great place to go. I think that it's the place where you can really start to make some real wealth. And I think everybody should aspire to get to the level where you're not dealing with tenants and toilets and all that stuff. I think that it's a real great game to play if you can get your skill level to that level. I'm Stefan Aarnio. Respect the grind. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next video.